Hey everybody, welcome back to Row Country Crafts, and welcome if you're new. Listen, if you've been around a while, you know that we are working on the little house. And it's been a while since I've done an update, and I apologize for that, but today I have news for you. And do you guys remember when I said this? And my plan is to actually be out here working, plan on being out here doing that by the end of August or early September, maybe mid-September of 2021. Yeah, we're just gonna have to file that under lies I tell myself.
Okay guys, so let's go ahead and start with the bad. And as you can see, we had to replace this entire sill plate of this wall. It was so badly damaged that the wood was literally splintering in our hands. And so my son Steven removed that bottom sill plate, cut everything away, and then he used a 2x6 and our chop saw, and he went ahead and cut pieces to replace that entire sill plate. Guys, when I tell you that those pieces of wood were splintering in his hands, I am not kidding. He literally had one piece in his hand and just squeezed his hand a little bit, and every little bit of that wood shattered away. So he was really careful in just making sure that he cut the right size and then cut off that edge so that this piece of wood would wedge into the space where we removed the bad wood. It had to go underneath of the 2x4s that were there on the wall existing, and then he went ahead and sanded away that corner just to make sure that it sat in there really nice, and there was no issues in terms of getting it to slide in. Then he used a hammer to hammer it into place, and this took quite a while. It was a scary ordeal. The wall was removing from the house itself to the point that you could stand in the corner and see inside from outside. It was very scary. So once that was done, he did use the grinder to remove any nails that were in the old 2x4s, and then he went to town really sistering up these 2x4s and using our power nailer to get everything nice and framed again. And this is really just an overview of what that looked like when it was done in that part of the little house. So this was really just an undertaking, and it took more time. It took more money. This was something that we were not planning on doing. But again, when you uncover things, you have to deal with them before you move forward. And we're just really thankful that we did not go over these walls. Had we done that, we would have never uncovered these problems. We actually found an old door that we framed up, put in some insulation, covered that with some plywood so that we could finish off this side of the wall completely. So you can see here, Steven's got more of the framing up so that we can hang drywall eventually. But guys, I just cannot tell you how thankful I am and what a wonderful job that he did. Once we did all of that, we did buy some BoraCare off of Amazon and put it in one of these little containers here. And then, this is one of these things where you spray it into and onto the walls and you soak it. And what this BoraCare does is it removes, it treats for termites and for those bugs that we had and those carpenter ants. All of that was done. Once that dried and we had to let it completely dry, it was time for some R15 insulation. So this is what it looked like once we got some insulation going in this little tiny house. And look at that, guys. We actually have walls on the walls. This is purple drywall. It is water resistant. And then Steven went to town really with just some drywall mud doing the seams. And again, this is a guy who watched a ton of videos and then brought his own skill to the table, and he really took his time to be sure that this drywall was finished in such a way that it would be minimal sanding. And he did that by feathering on the drywall mud, as you can see him doing here. I am not a drywall expert. He will tell you he's not a drywall expert, but I will tell you that I am so pleased with this work that he did, and anybody would be lucky to have him come in and do work on their space. He really just took his time, and everything turned out so good. But you can see here an overview of the things that he did, and you can even see the closet that is now in place where that had not been before.
I don't know if you guys can see, but there's the edge of the tree, and it comes all the way down, and then half of it is hanging off the side here, and it is several pieces of a tree that, if I can come over further, maybe you'll be able to see it, maybe not. It's way up there. It came down probably 80 feet, but I'm not sure. But it's right there is where it fell off of. Right up there. And it's, I mean, clean break right off of it. But there's so much ice and there's so much snow on these trees that I'm not surprised it happened. So I thought I'd come in and just give you a real look at the current situation happening inside of the tiny house. We now have drywall up on the walls, as you can see, and we went with the purple board. It is water resistant drywall, and we did that because it is an outbuilding, and you know, there had been a lot of damage to this building prior to us taking it over and redoing it. You can see we do have a window installed. I was so happy to find that. And then of course the brick wall is staying the same. The furnace is working, thank goodness. And so it's been staying nice and warm out here. I'm sorry for the echo, but it is the acoustics of what's happening. You can see that we have tools on the ground. My grandson has a target there that we've brought in here, but usually he uses that outside. So when you walk in the front door of the cabin, the little tiny house, we call it the little house or the cabin out here, to the right is this view. And like I said, the brick wall is staying, and some of the old barn wood that I said we were going to get rid of, we've actually been able to salvage and save those two panels on the back. I'm gonna give you that's a little bit of a hint as to the decor style that I'm gonna be going with here. I love this little light. I picked it up at Menards. It's actually a light and a fan kit, rated for outdoor use. And we put it in this space just because it kind of goes with the aesthetic or the feel that I really enjoy. And so there's a little sneak peek, but I'm not gonna give you a lot more of that. Over to the left back corner, and I'm gonna go around this ladder. But look guys, I have a closet. I have a closet, and I'm so excited about that because it's gonna be a wonderful place to really store a lot of things. There's a lot of changes happening out here in Row Country. One of the things is that we are going to start a little online shop. So I'm gonna have a space to keep craft supplies, but also inventory for that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and come around the ladder here, and I'm gonna show you what's going on the other side. But this is real life right now, guys. So I'm just letting you know, like literally these things that are laying around are, projects that are happening. Things get moved from side to side. This is what it looks like when we're in the throes of a reconstruction of this building. These walls, before the drywall went up, they had to be 100% reframed. The bugs that were out here, there were wasps in the walls, there were I don't know, termites, or there were carpenter ants. Yeah, carpenter ants is what we had. Really did a number on stuff. So these walls had to be completely reframed. You'll see some of that in some of the photos that I'm going to put up here, and some of the other video that I kept. I did lose a lot of my footage, I apologize. But this is the panoramic view off when you come in the door. These windows were here in the front already, and I'm gonna give you a different perspective. This closet is all new. I can't show you inside the closet because it's dark in there, but you might recall when you saw photos from before, the electric box was along that wall. It is now inside the closet, but it's right through the doorway, so it's perfect access for that. And then we did, again, drywall on the 2 walls here on the side and on the front that I'm gonna show you here in a moment. But here we are, guys, this is where we're at. Okay, and so here's a different perspective of what we're dealing with here. The door remains the same, but this is just work in progress. So we have tools out here, we have wood out here, we have a chair that I heard too that I sit in and when I'm talking to my son who's doing all of the construction out here. So it looks like it's a hot mess. It looks a little scary, but that's just because we're in the process of redoing all of this, and we have not had a chance to actually clean it all up. But the drywall is done. The mudding will be done very soon. He's done an awesome job on this corner, just everything. The ladder is in the way, and I apologize, but there is the door right here. And this whole space was covered in that type of wood that was really bug damaged, so we got rid of like a lot of it. But we are keeping the door for now. These windows in the front were already on the building. Here is the closet space again. But when you pan around, we found 2 windows that had been covered up. So we replaced those windows, but there's one there and then one directly across from it. So I love the symmetry of that. We're still working out how we're going to finish those out with the trim and things of that nature. But guys, this has come a far, far cry from what it was like when we first walked in here and decided to redo this. The shop vacs here, and we have a air compressor, which I would recommend if you're doing any sort of work like this. If you can do an air compressor with air compressor tools that are compatible, it makes life so much easier. The drywall's looking great. Like I said, we're keeping the brick. We were able to salvage and make sure that there's not a lot of damage to these back panels, so we're keeping those. And like I said, the furnace, we did have it serviced, and you might recall the video where my son and my grandson put in a cement pad out behind this little house for me. That is where the oil tank lives that provides fuel for this furnace to work, and it is amazing, amazing. It's warm in here. I can't really tell you exactly what the temperature is. I can tell you that outside it's like 12 degrees, but inside it's at 48, and the furnace has not been running. That tells me that the work that was done on the furnace, plus all of the insulation that has been put into this little building, is keeping and retaining the heat, even though we have these concrete floors. So, but here's your little update, guys. I wanted to be sure that I was able to get in here and get some footage for you, because what's going to happen next in the little house after several months of working and troubleshooting and, you know, fixing things and uncovering issues and getting those dealt with. We are now at the point where we're going to finish sanding this drywall, cleaning out the space, and start painting, because that's the next project on the little checklist that we have of things to get done. So we're gonna be moving a lot of this out of here. But I wanted to really just have this for myself and just share with you guys the progress of where we are with the tiny house. So leave a comment down below. Let me know if you expected that we were at this stage, or if you thought maybe we were a little bit further along. The reason that we're not is I just hinted to it. We found so many problems with this little tiny house, with bug damage, and it had been neglected, and then the man that we bought the house from covered everything with that barn wood that you see there. It was all over the walls. When we took that down, we uncovered a lot of bug damage. This entire wall here that I'm showing you was off of the foundation completely. We had to put in a brand new sill plate and then reframe this entire wall that goes the entire length of the little house. And when I tell you that it was off the foundation, literally you could stand in this back corner outside and see inside to the building. We uncovered that when we started taking things down and realizing just how bad the 2x4s and, you know, all of the framing in this place was. And when I say we, I'm really just talking about my son, because he is the one who came out here and talked to me about my vision, and then grabbed the tools and got to work after we picked up all the supplies. And I am so thankful to him. I cannot thank him enough. And I'm okay with where we're at now. We're gonna get moving forward. It's the middle of winter, and like you saw outside, we have a storm that we are dealing with. And you can see inside here, where I'm showing you now is where that heavy part of that tree is laying on the roof of this building. And there's not even a little bit of condensation, dripping water, nothing like that. So far so good. Keep your fingers crossed. We are going to have the roof assessed just to be on the safe side. But guys, this is the update for you for the little house. So like I said, let me know in the comments below what you think. How are we doing? Would you have given up if you figured out that the foundation and the walls were not connected to each other? What would you have done? Let me know in the comments below, guys, and I will have another update for you, hopefully more sooner than later. Thanks for checking in, and I'll see you soon. Okay everybody, thanks so much for checking out yet another one of my videos. Remember, you can reach me over on Instagram at Row Country Crafts. While you're here, don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and please go ahead and watch another video. I will catch you in my next one. Until then, bye!